Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
In South Africa, ascribed to. So we've got the ISBA Code, the ISBA Code, the ISBA Code, the ISBA Code, you name it. Everybody starts with the IESBA Code of Ethics, and then they'll change the wording to suit them. The IESBA Code refers to a PA as a professional accountant, right? And then SICA will adopt theirs and they'll make the references everywhere to chartered accountant. ISBA will take theirs and change it to auditor, right? So the changes are made from here. So what today is it's webinar 1 in our series of 6. And because this is a topic that most accountants normally are lacking at the end of their CPD cycle, we decided to do this because exploring the IESBA Code means that we take it from start through to finish, from the beginning through to the end, breaking it down into 6 little parts, right? So IFAC basically have been issuing some documents to this effect, and today we are dealing with 2 of those installments, right? They call it installments. We've combined the first 2 into this webinar. In addition to that, I've also added in for you South African examples, and then where things have significantly changed or adapted for in South Africa, we've also got summaries of that for you. All right. So you'll see that this is not going to be anything mind-blowingly new, but there will be some practical issues that you will learn from. All right. And obviously, this is going to give you very valuable CPD. So there's the code. When we talk about the code of ethics, the IESBA Code, that's the code of ethics for professional accountants, but also then all the adopting professional bodies have already adopted this code for their own purposes as well. Right. That's me. My name is Lettie Jansen van Vuuren, and I will be your facilitator for the next 90 minutes or so. Right, so that's what I do. Well, that's what I do for a living. This is what I do, professional trainer, webinar host, and then I also do some consultations on technical queries, file reviews, basically a professional problem solver. Whatever clients need from me, that's when they contact me, and that's what I do. On the agenda for today, we've got 4 modules, and the 4 modules are as follows. We've got module 1, which is our introduction. We'll briefly look at the code and how it's structured. Then we're going to look at installment 1. These are the 2 installments that were issued by IFAC, right? And that both installment 1 and installment 2 are available to you as source documents. So then we've got some detail on that, and then we've got some South African case studies in module 4 for you, right? So that's literally what I've got in there. So before I go any further, I would like to quickly just share my screen with you and show you what the source documents look like and what the webinar material looks like. Right. So let me quickly share my screen with you. Right. Can you see my screen, guys? Can you see my screen that it says source documents and it's got the 2 documents in there? Great. Okay. All right. So those are the 2 source documents. What's been done about it is I've zipped those into a folder called source documents, but there's installment 1. As you can see, that's the IFAC document, and then installment 2 is the conceptual framework step 1. So these are the topics in a nutshell. The webinar material that you'll find, the webinar material is a little bit more expansive, a lot more expansive than the slides. And those of you that normally frequent my webinars would recognize the format and everything. The order of the slides follow exactly this detailed contents page of the webinar material. All right. So you'll see we'll start with module 1, introduction, moving along briskly. Right. We've got 5 new case studies or news case studies that we'll be looking at. But as you can see, the entire thing is only 13 pages long, right? But it contains the necessary detail. So you'll see that sometimes I do highlight stuff in yellow for you, right? And that's where I think that it's just a little bit more important for your purposes, right? So if that's the case, then that's what we need. All right. So getting back to our slides, I will be referring you to the webinar material where necessary, but that's what we've got in there for now. Let's get back to the slides so we can start the actual webinar. Right, so I've just shown you the table of contents. I've shown you what the webinar material looks like. You've seen what the source documents look like, and those will be uploaded to your profiles for you. Right. As always, we've got our quote. Potter Stewart said, ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do. Okay, it's a very difficult concept. There are lots of quotes about ethics. I quite like this one. It's not your normal run-of-the-mill one. And of course, there were millions and millions of cartoons on ethics. So when I was doing the research for this, I was having quite a good laugh about all the cartoons on ethics. Right. Let's jump straight into Module 1. And this is our introduction. And we'll be starting with introduction to exploring the code series. Now, I've already sort of done that to you. The series, the webinar series that we've got now, currently there are 12 installments that are issued in total. So that's why we've got 6 webinars on this in the series. Every single month or every webinar we'll be tackling 2 of these installments. Because we want to be finished with it by the end of December for the CPD cycles, we will be having, I think in October we've got 2, and in November we've got 2. And then we've got just 1 in December and the one now, and those are the 6 webinars. Right. If you have not yet received an email that allows you to book for the entire webinar series at a discount, watch the space. I'm pretty sure it'll be coming within the next couple of days. I haven't seen mine come into my inbox yet, so that's why I say I did ask them about it, and IESBA will be sending that through shortly. All right, so we'll be looking at the structure of the code, the effective dates, and then looking at the South African amendments. All right. So in terms of an introduction to the Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, which we will just refer to as the Code, sets out basically the fundamental principles of ethics for all professional accountants. It reflects the profession's recognition of public interest responsibility. That's what the main thing is that's expected of accountants, of professional accountants worldwide. So how are we expected to act in the public interest? We are, as accountants nowadays, expected to be so much more accountable, right? Morally speaking, that's a lot is expected of us as accountants. We've got, I know ISBA's Code of Professional Conduct is a 202-page document, and it's filled to the brim with requirements. The requirements about the accountant shall, and you shall do this and you shall do that. The first real line of text in the ISBA Code commits the profession as well as the professionals to act in the public interest. And that's what the driving force is behind this international ethics code. In addition, we've got accounting firms that also expect their employees to adhere to the highest level of personal and professional behavior. So, yeah, okay, well, let's talk about this. It's easy to say those words, but on paper, the critics who normally criticize us as accountants, they are not even aware of the millions of ways in which adherence to the standards are evaluated. I mean, accountants are subjected to internal and external audits. Our audit files are sampled and put to the test by internal management systems. Adherence of moral and professional expectations is tracked via what they call compliance dashboards. There's just so much that goes on. So in doing that, we need to have a code that sets very clear standards so that there's no room open for improvement.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.